Hello, New York City Charter Schools. This is Tracy Davy with a webinar to help you understand how to verify your out-of-certification data. As always, we hope that you have our website handy. We do our best to keep everything out here that you may need, whether you're working during the day, an evening, weekend, or even on a holiday. Well, I do that sometimes. The best way to reach us, especially if you need help logging into level 0, would be to call us because a password reset is only good for 15 minutes. And this web address, email address is the best way to send us information or questions because Bonnie, Jen, and I can all see it. If you write to one of us individually, we might not be available. This is not a live picture, but today probably actually the rest of January will be open till 5 o'clock to help you meet the initial data reporting requirement for course instructor assignment information, which will populate that out of certification report in L2 RPT. Also, we have a survey on our website. Anytime you watch a video, call us, join us for a live webinar in person for training. Feel free to send us information how we can get better or just what we might have done right. Okay. So the reason we do this reporting is because the U.S. Department of Education requires every state to collect this data and to post it publicly. New York State does this via level 0 and the whole process that we do here for and help you report. And the public reporting of data is at data.niced.gov. As a federal requirement, this information is available on this website under the school report card. And then to build the staff qualifications, ESSA stands for the Every Student Succeeds Act. And that's the specific regulation that requires this reporting. And then you would tap build. You can choose all or just the one. Here is a view of those staff qualifications. If you are ever looking at the data report card, the data website or the report card, and you want specific information to understand what you are seeing or how that data was collected, please refer to the glossary or guide. In that, it defines experience as a teacher or principal as having worked in schools for 4 years. There is a statewide database, but don't grab that. It's huge. The people using that are legislators locally, state, and nationwide, graduate students, realtors, and whatnot, newspapers, of course. Okay. So first it's going to show you the, number, this is a count statewide of teachers and principals and how many have 4 years of experience. The state has noticed in the data that sometimes a teacher is new to a school and the years of experience in education overall is equal to the years at a particular building. So the state encourages you to survey your staff and to report total experience in New York State, either K-12 at a higher institution of learning, 2-year colleges, universities, and also private schools. Okay, certification is listed down below, and this is just a transparent count. And it's showing that statewide of all the teachers that are, in this total, that there are over 15,000 that are teaching outside of their certification for 1 or more classes, and then they give you the percent. This is just the pure numbers, exactly what they are. The state needs to be transparent on this. And during the 21-22 school year, the state added this statement down here to remind anyone looking at the data that charter schools are allowed to have non-certified teachers and are given a certain number of exemptions. So this is what it might look like locally. In this count, I doubt that 52 of their staff members have absolutely no certification. The count of teaching outside of certification, because it says outside of their field or subject, right, of certification. So anyone who has no certification, all your charter exemptions are going to be in this count, each person. And any teacher who is certified, but teaching outside of their exact certification is perfectly legal and part of the charter school law. But to be transparent, they're going to show the count of teachers who happen to be doing at least one class outside of their certification. If your school fails to report course instructor assignment information, this is what your report card might look like. This is just a random school across the state who did not report course instructor assignment. The school may have actually reported staff snapshot and flagged certain staff members as teachers, but the state cannot conduct a certification check if they don't know which classes the teachers are teaching. So that's why the course instructor assignment data must be reported. So to report course instructor assignment, it's a multi-step process. First, you need staff snapshot. Then you have to report the courses at your school. When do classes start and end for a final grade? Who's teaching those classes? And the state does want class entry exit. If you can't get that in January and you're working on these first 4, that's absolutely fine. You know, we have more time to get that last piece. There's also additional information under the student and educator report about like staff attendance, class sizes, and whatnot. The class sizes specifically comes from reporting your class entry exit for individual students. Back on our website, under the secure section, we have links to L2RPT, where this out of certification report lives. If your password has expired or you don't remember it, you can go to the business portal and reset your password. It's important that you are using your own account because it's going to be reset based on your email address. From niced.gov, in the upper right-hand corner, tap on business portal, and then you have the ability, you can test your login by your credentials by logging in, or you can reset your password. Accounts here, just like level 0, are absolutely free, but the only person who can give you access to L2RPT is your school leader. If you call us because you can't remember where to reset your password, we can help you with that, but we have no access to any of this information or reset capability. When you hit the password reset, you have to enter the email to your account, and the email with a link to start the reset process will be sent to that email address. So it's very important that you're using your own account. If you need help, your charter leader, the CEO and or the principal would have access to this. The SEDOS system, the State Education Department's delegated account access system, I believe it is, they only they can do it. As I said, Eastern Suffolk BOCES, the New York City Department of Education, even state ed cannot help you reset a password or give you access to the account. When your charter leader is logged in, they will see under their applications, first of all, there's a user guide, which gives step-by-step, pages, look for this, tap here, do that. And then they can log into the actual delegated account system and create an account for anyone in their staff who needs it. Your access will be instantaneous. We recommend that you check L2RPT as soon as possible to make sure that you have access to all of the folders necessary. Particularly, you need to be able to see the staff folder. And I just want to point out that the dates that you see next to a folder is when a report changed or a new report was added. It's not the refresh date. The reports are refreshed every day, I believe, actually, for staff. So if you do not see all these folders, especially if you don't see the staff folder, you'll need to write to the City Department of Education at their Mojo Help Desk, give them your school name, the DBN, and your username only. Let them know that you're missing folders in L2RPT. That's all you need to say. Okay, everything we do and explanations for it are available in the SIRS manual, the Student Information Repository System. If you call us for help or email us, we will probably send you a reference to this guide to help you understand what is being done. Once your school reports staff snapshot and it clears level 0 through the L1 data prep process, it's in the level 1 of our data warehouse, transferred to New York City each week, and is refreshed in L2RPT every Monday. The staff snapshot data, once it hits L2RPT, 2 reports will immediately become available. A summary of all your staff snapshots in the SIRS 320, and then a listing of everyone's certification in the 329. And that is actually updated every week based on Teach ID information in the Teach system. If someone gets a brand new certification today, it should be in L2RPT next week. Actually, I'm not sure if that one's every day. I'm pretty sure it's every week. This is just a summary. It's literally spitting back at you everything that you put in Staff Snapshot. That's a view of 320. The 329 is basically a listing of everyone with a Staff Snapshot and the certifications that they hold. In this area with this, you could focus on one person or all staff IDs. That would be everyone in your Staff Snapshot. Just a quick looking at this, what does it tell me? I have a bunch of teachers with certifications. None of them are expired. I also have a few people who are not certified. This one does not have the teacher title in Staff Snapshot, and they're probably a school leader or guidance counselor, something like that. And they don't have a certification. Down here are a couple of teachers who do not have certification. Once you add the course location and course instructor assignment information, 2 new reports will be available. The 330, excuse me, is a summary of your teachers with their classes, which you can almost bypass to quickly get to the verification because we do need to review that SIRS 328. Are your teachers certified for each of the classes they are teaching? So we're just going to go through a few examples of what these look like. On this screen, we're looking at K-6 teachers where your students are with one teacher all day long. You only have to report for that person the grade level course. You could do grade 2, grade kindergarten, whatever, and report the information about your teacher. Now, this is a combination of data from the course instructor assignment, Staff Snapshot, and the Teach Office. So in the course instructor assignment, it was reported what language the course was in. This would be whatever course section your school submitted. The course code you see here is the state code, not your local code. And then we have what the course name is in the state data warehouse. Now these really at the state level are more so topics of discussion and not necessarily the exact same class that you have, the course name. There is a field for course name, but this particular school did not add a local name. They just used the state code in that name. From course instructor assignment, they know that the class is taught in English. Based on the Teach ID, and actually names would appear over here too in your school building name. They're telling you whether or not the teacher is certified. Then they reference whether or not the teacher was given an exemption in their Staff Snapshot. I'm just going to go over this quickly. Someone who is certified does not need to be exempt from certification because they are certified. If you've hired a non-certified teacher because you have charter school exemptions, then yes, they should have that category, that field in level 0 for their Staff Snapshot flagged as yes. FTE is just calculation. Actually, it always comes up as 1. I'm going to have to mention that to state that it doesn't seem to be working as expected. But then from course instructor assignment, the certification form here is going to help you understand whether or not you reported this person with the exact role that they play in that classroom, and whether or not they're certified for that exact role. In this instance, both of these teachers were flagged as being the primary instructor, not working there as special education or the ENL. And then we saw what the certification results were for, are they certified to be the primary instructor of that class? Incidental teaching, this last column at the end, this is no for everyone at every charter school. That is the only way a typical public school like the city could flag that they took a certified teacher and or even a non-certified teacher and assign them a class on because they had an incident where they had no other teacher. Okay. When you have this report open in L2RPT, actually everywhere in L2RPT, anything that's underlined is a hyperlink to see additional information. So if you tap on that, it'll jump back to your teacher certification report in another window, and you can actually jump back and forth between the two. I'm glad I showed, in this example, when I first took this shot, I was using Internet Explorer. The software Cognos that's being used here, our programmers are always telling me use Edge, Tracy, it operates better, but I do know it works with Chrome too. Just wanted to throw that out there. In this example, thinking again about those indicators of a person's assignment in the classroom. So here's someone with some math classes. Is the teacher certified? And here it came up as no, they're not certified and they're not a charter school exemption. But the person might be certified in math These are all 7, 12 or secondary level classes, K-6 or elementary. If this teacher might be a science certified person that your school has decided was qualified for that, no judgment, could be an English certified person that you put in there, special ed, it doesn't matter. If that person is certified, and this is enshrined in the law that was cited back on the school report card, you have the ability to assign that person in whatever role you need them in and that you deem them qualified for. So, but the question is, if you know that someone is certified, you're going to ask your mind like, oh, well, are they certified for math, special education for this grade level? And did I report the indicators properly? Let's look at some more examples. Okay, here is one person with 4 different classes teaching English as a second language. They were flagged as the primary instructor actually in all of these classes, but not being ENL in one of them. And that's perfectly fine. They don't, if they weren't needed for their ENL training in that one, that's fine. They're teaching the primary instruction of that class. You can have multiple or just a single item for each person in the role in a room. You should mark them for each role that they play. And then SED will let you know whether or not they are certified for that. I don't know what the qualifications are for a tutorial course, but actually I'll show you in a little bit how you can find information on that. So the state is not making any judgment here. All they're doing is reporting the facts. This person is certified for 3, not for 1, and that's the case. This person would be counted in a number on the public reporting site. Again, don't forget you can report multiple roles. Here's a teacher who pops into a whole bunch of classes, right? In kindergarten, first and second grade, reading, writing, in both all those grade levels. We see the course instructor. We see that they are certified. Of course, they're not an exemption. And this person was flagged as being the special education person in the room. This person probably is not certified for even reading specifically or any of the others. They don't need to be, because the job that they're in is special education, and if they are flagged correctly in the course instructor assignment, then they will come up as being certified. Right? And that's where the state does that lookup. You really don't even have to worry about what's in the charter exemption in Staff Snapshot. You can, once you see this report, go back and edit the exemptions on individual teachers' Staff Snapshot records, but it's not required. The state is going to know the number regardless of what you put in that field. Here's another example of someone who is not certified. They don't happen to have the charter school exemption in level 0 for their Staff Snapshot. This is a high school teacher. If you know that they were certified, then it may be, right, if you tapped on that Teach ID, that you find out that maybe they have the special ed certification. Maybe they are, actually it could be any other subject or just at the elementary level. Again, as a charter school, you have the ability to put that person wherever you need them. If this was a mistake, like maybe when you're looking at this and you realize, wait a minute, I know this person is certified, then you want to consider, is this their assignment? Are they the actual primary instructor in that classroom? And update the record for CIA, and actually maybe records for individuals in each class where that indicator might not be accurate for the role that they play in the room. Those are the most common errors you're going to see here. If this person was a K-6 certified teacher and this is just the assignment you have them in, then you're all set. You have nothing to worry about. All right, here's an example of 2 different people in some classes. And so again, the indicator row, and you should have multiple classes for whatever your teachers are teaching. This person is the primary instructor and they are flagged as an exemption. Over here, we have a teacher who is serving both primary and the special education role, and they don't happen to be certified for either of those assignments. Whenever you have more than one person in a classroom, you need to make sure that you are entering the class, the exact section in the term code when that class meets. And you're going to then have each of their teach IDs reported again for the exact same class, showing that there are 2 people in that room. It's possible that they are both, that they are, it's a pure co-teaching model and that they share all the responsibilities of the class, that they're both primary teachers. Let's take a look at how that's handled. So although two records were reported in level 0 and sent to the city for submission to state ed, you are only going to see one of those teachers in L2 RPT. Nothing's missing. The state is just saying, here's the question. Is there a primary teacher who's certified in the classroom? If both of them are certified, you're going to see the teach ID number, that is whichever one is lower, closest to 1. Then if one of them is certified, they're going to show the certified teacher, and the other person doesn't show publicly on the report card as a count as someone out of certification. If no one is certified, they're just going to show one teacher in the course instructor assignment who is not certified. Because state ed has both of those records, if one of those teachers were to have their teacher certification issued in February, this report will update and make sure that that one certified teacher is in there. This is actually a beautiful thing compared to an old method of how they used to collect the data. The data was reported based on Beds Day, and every teacher had to be certified in October. Now, if a teacher earns their certification during the school year, the state recognizes the value of it, that they were so close to in September, like maybe even the documents just weren't processed, that you'll get credit for that person being certified. You can have additional exemptions for STEM teachers, although please be aware that your STEM teacher would have to teach only STEM classes, math, science, engineering, and technology. I didn't do that in order, but you got me. Then I want to point out here also that algebra does have a new curriculum this year. So be careful that you are reporting the new class. It's very possible that you will still have an old class if you are a high school with some students who still need that credit to graduate. They're not going to go take the whole new curriculum and take a brand new Regents. They're going to continue in the curriculum they were in and take that exam. So we would expect there to be at least one of the new classes, right? Maybe not any of the Common Core if everyone's in a good shape. Middle school would not have a Common Core algebra class any longer. If you are an L2 RPT and you say the name of somebody that you don't recognize, or you see my name, you see any name, that's not your staff person, go back to level 0 and ensure that you've reported the correct teach ID. In level 0, when you report the records, if you view them individually, you will actually be able to see the teach ID name versus the name that you input for the teacher. And the state will flag it to say this might be an error, right? It might not be your teacher. And we have information about how to correct this. If you speak to your teachers and they say, yep, that's me, you're all set. There is absolutely nothing you need to do. You cannot change their name with the state education department. They would have to fill out a form and change their name themselves, reintroduce themselves to state ed, and provide some documentation, as you can imagine. That process, how to do that, is available on our website in the right-hand corner, maybe at the bottom in the click link section. Feel free to share that with your teachers. So if this is actually your teacher, great. Nothing else is required of you. If it is not your teacher, you're going to want to speak with someone who can research their teach ID, and then you'll need to update it in level 0. So you would open their staff snapshot in level 0, and just input the new teach ID. It's down here on this line, and save the record. You will now have 2 records for your staff person, one with a good ID, one with a bad ID. Then you want to go back to search the teacher's name, and you'll find the 2 records. Go back to the one with the bad ID number and change the active field to deleted. This tells the state to skip that person. You just reported them by mistake. Staff snapshot records are never deleted from L2 RPT. They must be flagged as deleted so the state knows to skip them. In level 0, you'll have the ability then to go to, if you've already reported course instructor assignment on the wrong ID, you'll be able to open up the course instructor assignment records and use the drop down for the teacher name and move them over to the correct person with the correct name. When you are adding the deleted to a person's record. Another thing you could do is possibly change a name, even put like Z Davy, or what I pretend my real name was there, Kelly, Grace Kelly, make it Z Kelly. So, like, oops, that's not the one I want. It would also change it so that person's name would be at the bottom of the list and not be very distracting. In level 0, there are flags here to tell you the account of records that they want to give you some information on that might be wrong. In demographic and enrollment, you never ever have to worry about those because we get that data directly from ATS and you don't have to make any corrections here. Flags like this are not at all an indication that data is wrong. The city might have given us a unique code that they use that the state's not using. But here's that flag to show that there was a staff person with a different name. And there it is. If you were to tap on that number 1, it will show you exactly what it was. You'd say she's Grace Kelly, but we know her as Tracy Davy, and there's no button to confirm that that's your person. That is just going to be listed there and it's going to show that. One school I was working with had last names for a staff member that were not hyphenated, but the teach system showed that it was hyphenated. They added the hyphen and they were able to take that number away. There was no information warning after that because the names matched perfectly. But I assured them that there is no obligation that they had to do that. Other cases, we saw one name and the Teach ID had 2 names. In level 0, again, if you're working and we're not in the office, under the help section, you'll get a quick list of documents you can download to help keep you up and running. Let me give you a review of all exemptions. Every school gets 5 exemptions out of the gate. Then you can have either an additional 30% or 5 more exemptions, whichever is less. And then you can have those 5 STEM exemptions for someone who teaches only classes in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you are a small school or maybe a new school versus a larger school, everyone gets 5. 10% of 10 is 3, so that's less than 5. At the larger school, 10% would be 30, but the max is 5, so they get 5. At the small school, if they do have a teacher, let's imagine it's an elementary school and they have a teacher on a cart jumping around teaching some elective computer classes and maybe science, that's their full-time job. They would be a STEM person. That actually would be an additional exemption. At the larger school, maybe they have 8 teachers who teach only STEM that are not certified, but they still only get that 5. So the maximum is 15 exemptions. On our website, to help you keep track of your data and its flow, we created if you hover over on the main screen, reports, choose on screen, and staff and student accountability. This report is refreshed every 10 minutes. So when you run it, it may say it's currently running, and just wait, anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. And it happens on the hour and every 10 minutes after that. And it's going to tell you when it was last loaded, the data. The percent submitted at the top here is letting you know how many charter schools have submitted data in each of these templates. Kind of just letting you know as deadlines are coming up if, how we're doing to be done. We watch that pretty carefully. And at the bottom, and I don't show it here, but there is a count of records by template for each school. If you're the data coordinator and you have a leader who wants to know how it's going, you can open this website and show them that you have this number of records and all the expected categories in level 1 of our data warehouse. Everything you load into level 0 or adjust manually, manual input or a correction will be safe in level 0, but the data never moves to level 1 of our warehouse for submission to state ed unless you've completed the L1 data prep. So if you come out here and you want to, brag to your boss, like, look, we got this all done, we're good, right? You may find that a number isn't expected. Maybe you went there too quickly. You need to give it about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, depending on timing of data movements, to show that data that cleared the L1 data prep is actually in level 1 of our data warehouse. It's also possible that though you expected it to be there, you got distracted and never completed 2 button taps on that L1 data prep screen. Whatever happened, right? Go back to level 0. If you see errors, if you see a problem, call us. We'll help you to get that clear and to get your data moving. Or else, maybe you had the data and realized you got interrupted and didn't finish loading it at all. This will just help keep you on track. If you have one of these student management systems, every time you change a teacher or student schedule, it is recording every record that you would ever need for course instructor assignment and class entry exit. The issue in getting that data out to load it into level 0, if it doesn't work perfectly for you, is probably that there's setup information that needs to be done. Like you having custom codes in your software at your school that don't match the state codes. All you would have to do is open up your courses and then add the state code. There'll be a special field for state reporting and you would add the state code in there. Maybe you haven't never added your teach IDs on the listing of all the teachers that are being scheduled into classes. Please work with your vendor to make sure you know how to set up your system and that it's set up correctly. Eastern Suffolk BOCES has multiple schools. Here's a list of them over here on the right and our various services. We are fully accountable to and compliant with Ed Law 2D Part 151 regulations from the State Education Department. We're actually a little crazy. We're doing some things to a higher standard than what the state requires, but that's good. So forgive us when you get, a couple of, the multi-factor authentication every time you go in level 0, resetting your PIN and whatnot. We just want to keep everything safe. If you are having trouble loading your data, and that you can use this on the weekend too, or evenings, early morning, on our website, hover over secure and choose the file dispatcher. And this will allow you, once you verify your email and we can confirm that you are a level 0 user, we won't even accept data from you unless you're the right person, right? Then you can load the CSV file. CSV files are safe, can't have an executable in them, and we know that we can get that data and help you out. We'll then get back to you. You'll actually get an email when someone downloads the file saying that we're working on it now. And we'll help you to understand the error to correct it. Depending on what time of year is. If it's July and the data is due tomorrow, we might make the correction. A lot of times it's just dates in the wrong format and we'll just get it in there. The other most common error are headers at the top of the file. Here's a view of our website showing our times and stuff. Okay, we mean it literally. Call us if you need us. Email us when you need it, when you want to ask a question, aren't in a hurry. We don't judge your data, but we count it. Like I said, you could have thrown my Teach ID in there. I'd have no clue that each one of you even have it in there. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But if you call me and say, Tracy, Jen, Bonnie, we're having trouble, then we'll open up your school specifically and look at it. We do count records and templates when we know there's a deadline coming. We do count and look at verification and import errors when we know a deadline is coming, because we know that you've got data in level 0 and we don't want it stuck there. We want it flowing. So I've sent emails to people saying, here's some hints to clean up what you have. Call us if you need us. Before a major deadline, such as right now, I'm recording this on January 8th of 2024, the end of this month, actually on the 24th of this month, we really need by 9 a.m. your CIA data. The process of fixing anything you see wrong in L2RPT is to go back to level 0, update that. We only move the data once a week. It only gets refreshed in L2RPT once a week. We need you to look at this early and make those corrections as early as possible. This data will be locked down in early May, and then no additional corrections can be made at that time for out of certification. That's the only template that gets locked down early. If this were a live webinar, I'd take more questions and answers, but call us or email us, and a word from our sponsors. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful.